Good afternoon, everyone. DJ Pat here with Sound Prodigy. Today we're going to be talking about protecting your lighting investment. Now, all you old school DJs, I don't have to tell you how important that is, especially considering the money we've been spending for so many years on all this lighting effects. That back in the day when we were purchasing all these really nice lighting effects and not really having the best way to transport them from point A to point B, they were getting a bit damaged, scratched, dented, dinged, whatever the case may be. Give you an example. I've got a couple different lighting effects down here. This is an Electra 250. I've actually got a couple of these. Now, you can see it's not too bad a condition, but you see there's some wearing there, on the housing. There's even a nice big old smash something right in there. So something hit it or pushed against it and cracked the shell of it. Okay, there's one of them. On another one I've got here. Oh, look at that! A broken mirror. Ooh, that's tough. Considering you got this and this to protect it, so it must have been at some kind of weird angle and pushed against something and snapped, and it cracked, and it totally, you can see that in the mirror there, totally split the mirror. See? So, when you spend the kind of money that we spend for these products, we want to make sure we get the most out of them that we can. Now, back in the day, there wasn't much out there for putting our lighting effects in. And anything that was available was usually pretty costly because it was in these nice containers with riveted handles and pre-cut foam, and they were usually custom made to a particular lighting effect. I remember seeing one that would house two Vertigos, one this way, one that way, in a pre-cut foam thing, and I want to say it was like $150 for one of these things. Well, gosh, that's the price of a Vertigo anyway. One of them, at least. So, I was discouraged. So we would just do our best to, transport them, when we're putting them in our vehicles, to go to the venue, load them in. And the key to loading in is, you don't want to make more trips than necessary. So you try to pile as much stuff on as you can, and you wheel it in. Sometimes something would fall off and break and bust, and you're like, this has got to be an easier way. Well, there's a company that's come along that has made it a little bit easier, or actually a lot easier for us mobile DJs, and made it less expensive. Now I'm going to tell you what that company is, and I'm also going to show you the product. Arriba. Arriba, for all of you guys that don't know, is a sub-company from American DJ. Much like Global Trust, Elation, American Audio, those are all companies associated with American DJ. But Arriba makes these wonderful bags for storing almost any lighting fixture you could think of. They also do bags for speakers. They do trussing and tripods. So there's a lot of different protective cases that they make for our investment, and I got to tell you that they do a really good job. The cases are sturdy, they're strong, the zippers are durable because there's a lot of zipping and unzipping for pulling out the cables and whatnot, and I got to tell you that they're built very well. There is one thing, incidentally, that I do to the interior of the bags, because I feel like on some fixtures there needs to be a little bit more between the fixture and the outer part, the part of the bag, the wall of the bag. I'll actually take a piece of 1-inch foam, I'll use a turkey carver, cut it up, and give it a little bit more thickness, a little more rigid to the bag, just for a little bit more protection. So, but this is the AC120. Each bag has its own number to identify with a lighting effect or fixture that can be used. They make them real small, like here's an example of one. I know they make them smaller, they make little small mic bags, but here's a small Arriba bag that I like to use. I've got several of these, and these are great for sticking in a spare hard drive and a mouse and some cables. Put them right in there, and goes in your vehicle. You can also put extra microphones in it. You can stick a relay in there. If your wireless microphone isn't that long, you can probably get away with sticking that in there too. But wonderful usage for these bags. The other cool thing is anytime you buy an American DJ lighting effect, excuse me, for example, the one of my personal favorites, which I'll do a review on this particular light, the Vertigo Tri-LED. Nice. So the cool thing about it is when you go to buy these things, if you look right here, it says that's the Arriba bag that you need to buy, the AC 125. And wouldn't you know it, I went and got the AC 125. So now we know that bag fits in with that particular lighting effect. Again, I've spent a lot of money over the years buying lighting effects, and I want to protect my investment. You have to, because it's you want the playability, but you also want your lighting effects to look clean. You don't want them to look like they're scratched and dented and dinged, because it doesn't look professional. It looks like it's used equipment, and when you're selling a level of standard in your company and quality in who you are as a company, you got to protect your investment. Much like showing up at your venue without shaving your face or brushing your hair, or maybe wearing a wrinkled t-shirt. You wouldn't do that. You want to look as nice as possible. Your equipment should reflect that as well too. I'm actually going to cut here, and then I'm actually going to show you the interior of my trailer. I've done it once before. This is my equipment trailer. As you can see, the back wall has 3 levels, and they're all lighting effects. They're all racked back there and in bags. You see the Arriba name a lot. Like your speaker bags, tripod bags, everything is in a bag. My park hands, my lighting for my architectural is in bags. My speakers are in bags. My cables are in bags. Everything is in a bag. All now that we're back inside, I'll go ahead and show you one of my lighting effects I keep in one of these Arriba bags. A couple things that I really dig on these bags is you always get one of these, which has name, address, and city, basically contact information. So if you leave a lighting effect behind, now we know who it belongs to. What I like to do is flip it around and then write the effect that it's on there, so I know which is in which bag. But in this particular one I already know, so I stick my business card in the top. But I also still stick my business card in the top of the bag, so regardless, my identification is in here to tell people that this is mine. Also, a nice front pouch. All the bags have another little side pouch on there, and it's good for a few things. One, it's got an extra clamp here because I don't necessarily rely always on the bolts that come with the tripods or the trussing to mount the lights, because sometimes I might want to mount something kind of funky, and it's always good to have one of these little O clamps handy. American DJ, thank you very much. And of course, you got your power cable right there, so everything goes in there, good to go. Now again, the only thing that I think the bag could be added a little bit more to is a little bit more thickness or padding to the effect. Now in this particular one, what I've done is I've cut some 1-inch foam. Here's a piece of it right there, and you can get it at any virtually any pro audio shop. It's used to put for extra padding when it comes to coffins and sealing in those gaps between your audio and your CD players, for example, or your mixers, whatever. And I think it's also should be for these bags as well. And I cut myself a couple pieces of it, and you can see right here. I don't know if you can see in the light there coming in, it's kind of funky. So got a piece here, got a piece there to protect the front and the back, got a piece on the bottom, and then I also stick just a quick piece right there in the front to protect the aperture and the lens. And not that big of a deal. You just pull that off, stick it down there, and pull the light. You need it. You're done. Stick it back in, and zip it up, and you're good to go. So that is my official review of the Arriba bag. Any of them will do for any lighting effect. And if you're out there spending all the kind of money like I do on these lighting effects, please, please, please do protect them, because the longer you protect them, the more usage you're going to get out of them in the long run. And I always have a philosophy when it comes to buying these effects. I don't buy anything unless I buy a bag for it, or I don't open it until I bought a bag for it. that gets the laziness factor out of it, of going, okay, well, I'll just buy the effect now and I'll get the bag later. Don't do it, because if you don't do it when you buy it, you'll never do it. So I learned that the hard way. So thank you very much for paying attention, and stay in the mix.